I always start my production process in the Corona frame buffer. The image we use comes from my new visualization course. Here, I don't do much. I will add highlight compression to reduce too bright areas. I will move it to the top, below the exposure layer, and set the value to 2. I will add the filming layer and increase the rich shadows option. Not too much. I will also desaturate the image a bit. I always find it too saturated with the default settings. Finally, I will add a lot from my library. This one is nice. Again, not too much. Maybe I will make it brighter as well. Now let's save render elements. We'll be using the wire color and the alpha passes. Click and hold the Save button and click Save All. It will save all the passes at once. I will be saving files as EXR, which will give the best quality, but also the files will be heavier. Let's open Photoshop. We have to open the main image. Let's choose to load alpha channel data as an alpha channel. This way, we'll have the whole image. Here we go. Double-click on the layer to unlock it. Then, let's go to the Channels tab. Here is our alpha channel. The red parts will not be selected. The glass part will be partially selected. Click the channel while holding the Ctrl key to select it. Let's turn the channel off and go back to the Layers tab. Click here to add a mask. Now you can see that the background is transparent. As I mentioned before, you can see the glass a bit. Lastly, I will convert the mode to 16 bits channel, so we are able to use all the adjustment layers. Now, let's add a background image. Go to the file and place embedded. You will find it in your working files. I will make it a bit smaller and position it in the right place. Let's move it below the render. Here is fine. We need a bit more sky. No problem. Let's use AI. Let's select this area. Make sure a bit of the image is selected and click Generative Fill. We don't need any prompt. Here are the 3 options. I like this one. I will collapse these layers together as I won't need to edit them later. This cloud is a bit annoying actually. Let's remove it. I will use the Removal tool. We just have to paint over the elements we want to remove. Great! We have to make it way brighter though. We can add the brightness contrast adjustment here below the main image. In this case, it will work only on the layers below it. I will make it a bit brighter and reduce the contrast. I also desaturated it a bit. Also, let's move the colors more into blue color. Finally, let's add a white color on top. Ctrl plus Backscapes to fill the layer with the second color. We have to lower the opacity. The outside part of the render is a bit too bright in my opinion. Let me show you what I do in this situation. I go back to the 3ds Max and lower the exposure a bit. Save the file and place it in Photoshop. It's a great idea to include the settings in the name in case you need to change something later on. Here it is. Let's add a mask with the Alt key pressed. This way the mask will be black. Nothing will be visible. Now, we can paint the areas we want to include with the white brush. Now it looks way better. I will group the layers so the file is cleaner. I will go back to 3ds Max one last time and create a version with less contrast. Let's turn on the filming layer and lower the contrast. Save the file and place it in Photoshop. Again, I will create a black mask and with the use of the white brush, I will paint the areas where I want less contrast. I am very happy with that. Next, we can add more adjustments on top of everything. I will start with curves. The S-shaped curve will add a contrast to the image. I will paint out some areas with black where I don't want to have an effect. Next, I will add a vignetting effect. I will select everything with the Ctrl+A shortcut, then make the selection smaller. Next, I will use the Shift+F6 shortcut to access the feather selection tool. I usually go with 1/10 of the longest size of the image, so 500 pixels for a 5K render. I will add curves again and make it brighter. You can see it works only in the center of the image. I will duplicate the layer using the Ctrl+J shortcut and invert the mask using the Ctrl+I shortcut so it works only on edges. I will make it darker. Lastly, I darken the bottom of the image a bit more. It will help with the composition. I use a gradient for the mask. Have to invert it though. Great! Let me show you another trick. We'll use the wire color path to select only the sofa. I use the magic wand tool. Check the contiguous option to select the parts which are not connected as well. I will make some changes to the color. Make it more red. To use the same mask again, just click with the Ctrl pressed. Here is the selection. I use the curves now. Here we can divide it into 3 parts: highlights, middle tones, and shadows. I will make just the shadow darker without touching the brighter parts. Awesome! Let's group everything together.